Zone. It is our Friday edition of the show. Welcome in. We've made it through the week, and we've been doing it all week. And why not? If you this is your first day this week listening to the show, then you didn't know we were doing it. If you have and you didn't get a chance to weigh in, now's your chance to do so. We're just kind of gauging your confidence level going into Monday night's championship game. If you're an Alabama fan, how confident are you that Alabama's going to pull it out versus the SEC championship game? Where were you on the fence for that one? If you're a Georgia fan, how confident are you that the streak will end Monday night in Indianapolis? 256-576-4977. We've been doing that all week, and we want your opinions if you've not had a chance to lend them to the show. 256-576-4977. We will be kicking off our coverage from Indianapolis this evening. Hopefully, the weather in Nashville was not great yesterday. Some places got 7 inches of snow. I know Louisville got some snow. So we are going to be making the trek up to Indianapolis right after this show, and we will have the drive for you tonight, hopefully, from Indianapolis. So our coverage starts tonight. We will have a show for you, a special Saturday show tomorrow, right after the Alabama basketball game, right after they wrap up post with the Alabama-Missouri basketball game. We will then have a special show for you from Indianapolis, from downtown Indianapolis. We're going to be at Howl at the Moon on Saturday, and we'll have that for you. We'll have a special show for you on Sunday. We will have all of our shows on Monday. We're going to be from Indianapolis leading into the College Football National Championship game. Thanks to our many sponsors for making this one happen. Hometown Lenders, SportsMed, Bubby's Diner, just to name a few of the sponsors that have helped make this one happen along the way. All right, as I mentioned, what's your confidence level going into this one? Let's go out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Randy's with us this morning. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning, fellas. How y'all?
Doing good.
Hey, Scott, mine still says Alabama will win it.
Okay. What was your feeling before in the SEC championship game?
I felt Alabama was winning that too.
Okay. So you've stayed steady the whole way. I'm just curious as to the mindset of some of the fans of what the confidence level is. What has you so confident that Alabama's going to win?
I mean, look at it. They don't give the Alabama defense enough credit. To me, Alabama's defense is just good as Georgia's.
And, Randy, the numbers actually back you up on that one, because if I told you and if I said right now which defense has the best third down conversion rate in the game, who would that be? Alabama. 7th best in the NCAA. Alabama limits their opponents to 30% third down conversions. Georgia's at 34 conversions. Best rushing yards allowed, that goes to Alabama per rush. Alabama only gives up 2.5 per rush. Georgia gives up 2.6 per rush. And as far as average rushing yards per game, Georgia's at 82.4, Bama's at 82.3. So they're statistically, Alabama's defense just as good, if not better, than Georgia's.
Hey, Scott, why did they put out Georgia's defense as the best they ever saw? I mean, you got defenses there that was good that had won national championships and went undefeated. So what made Georgia supposedly so good?
I think it's because the way, and you look at the points per game, Georgia all season only gave up 9.6 points per game, which was first in the NCAA. So when you're looking at that and you're looking at the points, that's why this Georgia defense was a applauded and lauded as one of the best ever because of the amount of points given up per game. Alabama gave up 19.2 this season, which was 13th best in the NCAA, third best in the SEC. But you look at the opponents that they played. I mean, Georgia shut out Vanderbilt. Alabama didn't play Vanderbilt. So, I mean, you look at the West versus the East.
Look who the Vanderbilt is, too.
Oh, East versus West.
The SEC powerhouses is in the West.
Yeah, they are, Randy. I mean, I don't think – go ahead.
Let me ask y'all something. If Bryce Young wins this championship, won't he be the first Heisman quarterback to ever do that?
No, I don't think he'll be the first because Cam Newton won one with Auburn. Cam was a Heisman Trophy winner.
Mm-hmm. Charlie Ward.
Yeah.
93.
And I'm sure we're missing. I'm sure we're missing some along the way. I'm just trying to now go through my brain.
Right.
Let me ask you one more question, and then you can ask what you want. Why are they playing the championship in Indianapolis?
Because Indianapolis won the bid.
It's all about money.
They won the bid.
Yeah.
So what they did is the College Football Playoff Committee.
Jameis Winston as well. Good job there, Chad.
The College Football Playoff Committee, Randy, went in basically and have done what the basketball tournament does. They take bids from cities. And we can tell you that coming up in 2025, Las Vegas will host the College Football National Championship game. 2026, it'll be back in Miami. Mm-hmm. But they take these cities put together a bid. Now, if I'm just using it as an example, if Huntsville wanted to put a bid in and do it at Louis Crews Stadium, by all means they could. They don't meet the criteria.
No.
But they could theoretically do the bid. So it's up to any of these cities. If Chicago wants to put a bid, they can, but they don't have an indoor stadium, so they probably would not get it. But it's just up to these big cities, Randy, that want to put a bid in.
Like, for example, Minnesota.
Minnesota could put a bid in, if they so choose.
Okay, Drew, what was you going to say before I interrupted?
No. I was just going to say a lot of the difference is, I know you're talking about the two defenses. Scott was talking about the points per game that Georgia and Alabama give up. But I do think there's a difference in schedule strength because Alabama had to go through the SEC West and Georgia did not. Georgia did play a pretty good Arkansas team, and they shut them out and destroyed them early. But I think Arkansas was a lot better football team late. But still, you got to give Georgia credit for that. But when you look at it, they didn't have to play the Texas A&Ms of the world this year. They didn't play Alabama in the regular season. LSU, they didn't have to play, but LSU wasn't a great football team, even though they were bowl eligible. But they didn't have to go through the gauntlet that Alabama did from that standpoint. Now, they did beat Auburn soundly in Bo Nix, and that's what I'm going to be interested to see. Jason Caldwell is going to join us at 8 o'clock. Jason saw both teams, up close, and Auburn nearly beat Alabama. I mean, they, basically controlled that game for 59 minutes. And then in the same stadium, Georgia dominated Auburn earlier in the year. But again, a lot of it is about how much better you get later in the season and, of course, injuries and things. And that's one of the reasons that some are picking Georgia to win this rematch, because since Alabama beat them a month ago, they've lost John Mechie. They're banged up in the secondary, and they're banged up on the right side of the offensive line. And for the most part, Georgia's relatively healthy. I mean, I don't think they've had some injuries in their secondary and lost some guys even for the season, and I think their secondary is overrated. But at the same time, they've got most of their guys, and so unless there's been injuries during the 10 days of preparation, which I haven't heard any from the Alabama perspective, haven't heard any from the Georgia perspective, then you're kind of going with who you got. Like, you dance with what you got, and so some people are giving Georgia the edge.
They probably gonna keep it kind of quiet and not say nothing.
Yeah.
But as far as Mechie, like I was saying the other morning, Brooks can step up and fill that spot.
Well, he has. I mean, you made that point, and he made the biggest play in the Cincinnati game. He made big plays in the Auburn game. So he's done it, even though Metch was, in the lineup then, but Jamison Williams was not. So Alabama, I still think they've got enough left to win it, and I don't think it's being played up enough that B-Rob is a lot healthier than he was the first time they played. But again, it's going to be interesting to see. And I think, I've made this point all week that I think Alabama's got the better defense, and that's even with, backups playing at corner. Because I think Kool-Aid McKinstry has gotten enough experience in the last month to be comfortable. Now it's just a fact of, I think Kyrie Jackson's going to play quite a bit, because Scott and I have discussed this all week, but when you watch Jalen Armour-Davis in the first game, he just did not move well at all in the limited snaps he got. I don't see how he's made that much progress in 10 days to be able to play a significant role in the game.
All right, Randy, got to move on, brother.
Appreciate it, Randy.
Thanks for the phone call.
Man. Yeah,
all right.
Have a good.
All right, thanks. Let's stay on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Brandon with us this morning. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning, Brandon.
Morning.
Yes, sir.
Fired up and ready to go to this game. I got up and made a Christmas tree cake for breakfast.
Yeah, well, thank you for the VHS tapes.
Yeah, we got a nice
VHS
stack right over here of some Iowa stuff.
And it kind of brought back memories, because one of them is from the 95-96 season, and that is when, by all means, that is when I was actually shooting for a news station back up there in Iowa with the University of Iowa. I was assigned to Iowa that year. So 95-96, that brings back a lot of memories for me as a college kid working and shooting University of Iowa athletics.
Well, and before Brandon goes on, I do have to ask you this, Scott. I actually have one that works. Do you
I don't
have a VCR?
I don't have a VCR.
That was the question.
I've got one that works, and I actually was digging through a box, and I found something that has got to be a jewel of all time. It is a Dale Earnhardt rewinder.
Oh,
wow!
You put you talk about taking Jedi level of redneck. That was us in the 90s. So
please be kind and rewind.
I think I still have a rewinder. As a matter of fact, that one of those is just like that big.
Remember the video stores would charge you
if you didn't
rewind your videos when you brought them back to the video. Yeah, please be kind and rewind.
Yeah,
they would charge you if you didn't bring your tapes back and they were rewound.
Yeah.
Yeah. The dude at the World Hi-Fi convinced my dad that it was bad on your VCR.
Yes.
To rewind the tape. And he bought a rewinder, and he was like, "Here, I think you'll like this. It's my job to put it in there and press the button." And then one day he was sitting there, and he said, "Hold on, this thing's rewinding." That was when we discovered that they had made some of the tapes at the end of it, all the way at the very end of the credits, that it would kick on and tell the VCR to rewind itself.
Yes. And little do we know that it did not hurt the VCRs to rewind the tapes at all.
No, it did not.
No, that was some good propaganda by them. But that was the point where my dad said that computers were going to take us all over and eat us, because that was the most technologically advanced thing he'd ever seen. But that the VHS of the Gene Stallings autograph.
Yes,
that was
the find of the century.
That's the main reason he got that one, because that was made out to Scott.
That is impressive. Yes.
I was looking on there, and I sent the guy that sold that a message, and I said, "What is that?" And he's like, "Yeah, it belonged to Uncle Scott." And I was like, "Well, they not using it anymore?" And he's like, "Oh, he's been in the ground for like 20 years." And I said, "Oh, okay." So I said, "I got to buy that." But I felt like 2021 was a forehead year. All the progress we made was we went from regular VCR to forehead. And I feel like we're trying to go backwards now, especially if you're a state of California. They're fixing to lose a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know if they know how sick Atlanta was when they lost a World Series. They lost an All-Star
over
game.
Stupidity, by the way, an All-Star game. Just stupidity.
How much money do you lose if you lose a Super Bowl? I don't know how big it is,
tens
but
of
it's got to be
millions.
astronomical.
Easily tens of millions, because you think of the economic impact that it brings in to the city
we
alone.
The one thing with Scott and I witnessed is, as far as Atlanta, is that when they had the Super Bowl, and we were there for a couple of those days, and it was snow, it was icy, and we barely got out of Huntsville then for weather.
Yeah.
But when you get over there, it was frigid and cold. But we'd never seen the kind of media that as far as how many people were in town, it was insane.
It is world media.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even really sports media.
Japanese reporters, German reporters.
People giving like Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski gifts every day. These are from media people. They're giving them stuff.
Yeah. The Japanese media would give him a thank you gift for talking. That's respect. It's a respect in their culture, and they would give them thank you gifts every day to Tom Brady. It is incredibly insane, just the amount of media members that show up, let alone the fans and the businesses that roll out stuff. Yes, it is an economic impact.
Ugh.
Billion. It could be $1 billion, and LA could lose it all.
Yeah, shocker.
Well, see, I had a friend that run a restaurant for a company, Twin Smokers Barbecue, which was right next door to Stats Atlanta. And he said that the Boston fans were beating on the window of the restaurant at 8 o'clock in the morning, wanting to know when they were going to open and serve beer.
Wow.
And their restaurant hours were 11 to 9. He said that they opened the bar at 8:30 in the morning and told them that we do not have a closing time, and said that it stayed lined out the door for 2 hours, and to-go order said it was the most business any of those restaurants had ever done, and since it has never been closed. And the state of California is just going to throw that away. The state of California is officially nominated for Moron of the Year for
there we go.
2022.
Yep. All right, Brand, thanks for the call. That's going to lead us into another discussion. So,
Roll Tide.
Thank you for the gift as well. Yeah.
Thank you,
We
sir.
said that we were going to announce our Moron of the Year winner for 2021 here today. So we have got candidates that we need to pick from. We've already pretty much have it named, but we've got candidates that we need to pick from. One would be Mark Emmert from the NCAA. Kevin Warren from the Big Ten.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Those are two of the nominees that easily come to mind. Any other nominees that come to mind?
Yeah, butchered a whole football season.
Any other nominees besides those two? Obviously, Dan Wolken.
Yeah, Woken.
He's on the list as well. Any other names that come to mind?
Well, Brandon just nominated the whole city of Los Angeles.
That would be for 2022, though, would it?
Well,
not?
I don't know, because
on 2021.
Not really, though, because think about it. That's this year's Super Bowl for the 2021 season.
Okay.
Now for next year's season, maybe. But they won't be getting the Super Bowl. But I think he was mainly talking about, because it's gonna be celebrating this past regular season for the NFL,
Sure, okay.
and you're
Okay,
screwing
we
it
can give it
up.
to them.
So I can see where Brandon's nominating them for Moron of the Year. That's tough because. By the way. Our great friend and patriarch as well, Keith Neighbors, texting in. I don't know why we didn't think of this one right off as far as Heisman winners and quarterbacks. Joe Burrow, of course.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, duh.
Yeah. Jameis Winston, Joe Burrow.
Well, some of the other ones, Matt Leinart. In 2004, Matt Leinart won it, but they had to vacate the national championship.
Yeah,
that year.
what I think about all that vacate stuff.
Danny Warfel back in 96, he won the Heisman and then won. Charlie Ward, you mentioned Charlie Ward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at quarterbacks. You got to go all the way back. In the 40s, there were several quarterbacks that won national championships and Heismans. Now, it was a long time ago, but we used to talk about the Heisman jinx. Quarterbacks that lost the Heisman, Chris Winkie in 2000.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, in his situation, Scott, he was hurt and didn't even play in that game against Tennessee. Marcus Outson did.
Okay. Eric Crouch in 2001.
Yeah,
from Nebraska.
Yeah.
Sam Bradford in 2008.
Yeah.
And Marcus Mariota in 2014 with Oregon when they lost to Ohio State.
Yeah, and they got trounced by. We got him. We've got Urban Liar has got to be nominated for Moron of the Year.
Yes, Urban Liar. Yes.
I mean, come on. You end up in some bar with some chick. You don't last the whole season. You get run out by the worst organization in the NFL. You're playing games with your player. We're having these competitions, and and then I might cut some people because of vaccinations, and then all this stupid stuff.
Yes, Urban Liar definitely up there on the list. All right, let's get our first break in. When we come back, 256-576-4977. If you want to nominate somebody for the Moron of the Year award. Shane Sean, though, with us before we go to break. Good morning, bud.
Morning, brother.
Morning, Shane Sean.
I think we got you.
Well, he may have thought we went to break because I looked like we were going to. Let's go to the break then, and we'll see if we can
call
get
back
Shane
in,
Sean
brother.
On the flip side.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
We are still rolling along in good shape this morning. Haven't heard of any problems. No wrecks, no stalls, no traffic signal headaches to report to you. You try to get out the door early if you can. Make sure you warm that vehicle up before you head out. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. Why not make it safer for them? Move over. It's the law, Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeye, Skywatch Traffic Center.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing, helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
Here in the South, we like our traditions, like Alabama football and tailgating on fall Saturdays. And the best way to start your tailgate? Visit Brooks & Collier to see North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers. Big Green Egg, Blaze, and Traeger. Everything you need for that perfect tailgate. Check out our rubs and seasonings. We have a full wall to please any taste palate. Visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for 75 years. Roll Tide.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today, 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them on the web at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Hometown Lenders was founded right here in North Alabama on old school principles. We like to call them the 4 Ps. The best products, the best processes, competitive pricing, and of course, the best people. It's why we're one of America's fastest growing mortgage lenders. We're now adding a 5th P, the Hometown Promise. If we don't close on time, you don't pay a dime. Yes, you heard that right. On time, every time, or we refund 100% of our fees.
Did you know Prilosec OTC can stop frequent heartburn before it begins? Yep, I said before. Block heartburn at the source by taking the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. With just 1 pill a day, you get 24-hour heartburn relief. That's all day. Start the 2-week challenge today at prilosecotc.com and live heartburn-free. Just 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Making a resolution to stop making resolutions? Power move. Going to bed 3 hours before the ball drops? Power move. Switching to extra reliable internet from WOW with speeds up to 1 gig? Power move. Get the speed you need starting with Internet 100 for just $19.99 a month and get your first month free. Plus, learn how to get up to $300 on us. Sign up at wowway.com today. Limited to new customers with autopay and paperless billing. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
I want to thank you. Thank you for making us your #1 choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Coming up next, it's the Tom Abraham Show with me, Tom Abraham. Now back to more Talking Ball with Scott and Drew.
And welcome back to Talking Ball, 256-576-4977. If you have a Moron of the Year nominee, feel free to give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And we've got a lot of good names on the list so far. Urban Liar is on the list. Kevin Warren from the Big Ten is on the list.
The city of Los Angeles.
How about the Pac-12 Conference?
I get Larry Scott got kind of fired, right? But I mean, I guess we could still say the Pac-12 too.
I mean,
because all they were doing is following the Big Ten.
Yeah, so I mean, we could put them in there. All right, let's get out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Shane Sean's been holding. Good morning, Shane Sean.
There he is. There he is. What's up, man?
Yep, I'm here. I've tried to get through a couple times this week, but every time that I got free to call, y'all was fixing to take on a guest, Chad said. So
it's all good. You're here now.
As far as the Georgia game, the SEC championship game goes, I had about 10% confidence that Alabama would beat Georgia.
Well, first time, I remember that. I remember you called in a couple times. You were just like, there's no way.
Yeah. What's it now going in?
I lost $500 on that game. I actually bet on Georgia to win.
Wow.
That was the happiest $500 I've ever lost in my life. I was cool with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And this game, I'm at 40% that we're going to beat them this time.
40%.
Wow.
I'm not even 50-50. I know what everybody says, but I've watched enough college football in my life to know that it is hard to beat the same team in the same year, much less a month away.
Yeah.
And Georgia does have a talented team. There's no question about it. If they can put together some kind of scheme that they can throw a little bit on us and run the ball, they can beat us. But will they? Who knows? I think that Alabama's stuck in Kirby's and their players' heads. And I think that could be the downfall of them. I'm definitely not betting on this game. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was just curious on that. That's why I was wanting to know where
and this is another point that I'd like to make. Randy, he calls in. I love listening to him.
Yeah.
But it ain't been that long ago he was calling in wanting Bill O'Brien's and Pete Golden's job.
Yeah.
About how bad they are, and now Alabama has a better defense than Georgia on paper. So come on, guys. Now, don't get me wrong. I did defend Golden the entire time last year and this year up until the Texas A&M game, and then I wasn't calling for his job, but I thought that he had to do a better job. Saban don't keep him around for 3+ years for no reason. So.
Yeah. You got it.
Alabama's just fine. They're just young. They're not up to the standard of a typical Nick Saban Alabama team. And I understand that, but we're getting better. And Moron of the Year has to go to Jeff.
Oh, Lord. Now there's the
there
first
we go.
mention for Jeff from the Borough.
All right, Shane Sean, thanks for the call, bud.
Thank you.
I'm taking that nomination too, so there's 2.
There you
All right,
go.
There we go. All right, let's stay on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Richard's with us. Good morning, Richard.
What's up, Richard?
Morning, guys. I got a 22 vote for Moron of the Year, Vanderbilt administration.
Yes, this was really stupid. I'm glad you mentioned it, and this would be 2022. These idiots are not letting, students attend basketball games because of COVID.
What?
Well, you can go to a sports bar, I guess, with your buddies and watch the game, but or you can buy a regular ticket, but you can't go sit in the student section. That's just brilliant.
So what are they doing? Are they just letting the season ticket holders come to the games, but they're not letting the students, right?
It's just the next 3 home games, I think. It's just
the next 3 home games.
But I mean, Vanderbilt's playing good basketball.
They are. They just beat Arkansas.
They won a tournament in Hawaii. They beat BYU in Hawaii. So
they're 9-4.
Oh
my
Stackhouse has them, and the students can't go. But I think Stackhouse ought to buy the students regular tickets.
It gets worse.
We've talked about the mayor in Nashville, man.
It gets worse because these are the 3 games that they will not be able to attend. The students. You ready for these?
Right. Yeah, go.
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Right.
Kentucky.
Oh, great.
And Tennessee.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Biggest rival home game. We don't need students against Tennessee.
And Tennessee.
Yeah,
we don't need the students in attendance.
The students are the ones that are spreading it. The students are the ones that are spreading it. But hey, all you season ticket holders who are giving us a lot of money, y'all keep coming to the games, idiots.
And Missouri. They can't go to the Missouri game as well, but
I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, you got to think outside of the Tennessee and Kentucky, the students probably weren't going to attend the other ones anyway. I mean, that's the crazy thing. You probably weren't going to have 100 students at the game. The other 2, but it's just
that just goes.
Well, they're
to
not
the
even
point.
letting them come for the women's game as well.
I know this just goes to the point. Vandy doesn't care about athletics. They really don't.
And that's our good friend up there,
Candace Storey. Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean. And people wonder why Vanderbilt, quote unquote, struggles. I mean, good heavens.
Well, like I said, Stackhouse ought to buy the students tickets. I mean,
well, I got a question for this then, because we know they're playing for the number 1 seed on Sunday, dude.
Yeah.
And this is I'm talking about the Titans. If the Titans win and they host the playoffs, through the whole deal, are they going to all of a sudden say, well, we got to cut down half capacity to to Nissan Stadium?
They won't
I
say
know.
that.
Here's what they'll stand behind. It's outside.
Yeah.
That's what they'll say.
Yeah.
It's outside.
All right, Richard. Thanks for the
Thanks
call.
for that's a good nomination.
I'm getting ahead of you guys. See you guys later.
Thank you, Richard.
All right, let's stay on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Gordon's with us. Good morning, Gordon.
Good morning, Roll Tide.
Morning. Roll Tide, sir.
I think Les Miles should get the Moron Award.
Ooh,
that's another good nomination.
That is a good one.
With what happened at Kansas. Yeah.
What happened everywhere.
Well, because we talked about it ad nauseum. Well, I mean, but still, I know what happened at the end of LSU, but what he did at Kansas and all that off the field strife that was going on, I mean, that was when we had a sports writer on who covered that and wrote that story. It basically extensively talking about the kind of and it delved into to the end of what was going on at LSU under Les Miles. But yeah, I mean, the end of his coaching career, because I think that was the end of it, was crashing and burning. I mean, basically, if you're thinking about the hat.
Yeah, he's not employable anymore, I don't think.
Nah, I would agree with you there, Gordon.
All right. Well, thanks,
All
guys.
right.
Roll Tide.
Thanks, Gordon. All right, yeah.
That's a good nomination.
Nominations for our Moron of the Year award. So far, we have now Urban Liar.
Yeah, the hat.
We have Dan Woken.
Yeah, Woken,
from
not
USA
Woken,
Today.
Woken.
Yeah, Larry Scott, Jeff
Yeah.
from the Borough, Kevin Warren, Mark Emmert, and now Les Miles.
And don't forget the city of Los Angeles.
And the city of Los Angeles.
For maybe losing the Super Bowl that would celebrate the 2021 season.
All right. Anybody else that should be nominated for Moron of the Year in the sports world? We're handing it out.
Yeah.
Give us a call, 256-576-4977, and you can get in on the show this morning. I'm sure this list will grow because they're, how about we got to put Major League Baseball in there because they pulled the All-Star game out of Atlanta.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
All right, Jason's now with us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, fellas, and Roll Tide.
Roll
Tide. I got the moron of the year down.
Okay.
It happened yesterday when our vice president compared January the 6th to Pearl Harbor and 9/11.
I did not hear that.
That's it. That's got to be it.
Oh, boy.
What do you think?
I could say something right now, but, I've said enough.
That's that political.
Yeah.
That's that political
I think
comment.
everybody knows where I stand.
We're not going to win by throwing the opinion out there on that one.
Everybody knows where I sit with our esteemed leadership in this country.
Yeah. All right, good morning, fellas. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks. Thanks for the phone call. All right, 256-576-4977. That's the number of the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline if you want to nominate somebody for the Moron of the Year award.
We got another vote coming in via
What do we
text
got?
for Rob Manfred.
Yep, Major League Baseball and Rod Manfred. That because they pulled that All-Star game.
Yeah.
All right, Jace is with us this morning. Good morning, Jace.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, for y'all's Moron of the Year award, I got a couple people. I don't know if one of them counts. I was thinking maybe Ed Orgeron and Dan Mullen.
Well, that's a couple other interesting ones coaching-wise because Clown Mullen, he's talking about he needs to worry about recruiting in January. Yeah, when your ass is fired.
And don't forget, he showed up the year before in a Darth Vader outfit.
Well, that was during that was during the past calendar year.
Goes into it, yeah.
The thing that got me was moral victories for him. It wasn't, it was always, we almost beat Bama.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, man, that's all. I just wanted to nominate those two idiots right there for you.
Well, and Ed Orgeron for all his conduct. I mean, hitting on trustees' wives and things of that nature. I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up.
Exactly. But all right, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Jace. Yeah. All right, let's get a break in. When we come back, we'll still take your Moron of the Year nominations. And
the list is growing.
I know. We've got some good news, though, to get to.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Just got a wreck coming out of Decatur, Highway 20 and Mitchell Road. It's coming in as a no injury. Apparently, they just need police help there while they clear it out of the way. Everything else looks pretty good this morning. I don't see any other snags. You be careful on your ride in. Snelling has immediate need for experienced accounting clerks to assist with special projects. QuickBooks Experience a Plus. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
You know the crowd is ready. The top-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. The third-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. You ready? The College Football National Championship, presented by AT&T. Our coverage of the National Championship game on 97.7 ESPN The Zone is brought to you by Sports Med Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, Hometown Lenders, Valley Equipment Rental, North Alabama Mortgage, Bubby's Diner, and by DOC. Listen to all the coverage and game right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com. In today's real estate market, you need the right professionals to help make sure your home purchase is smooth and hassle-free. That's where Jacob Title comes in. Stan McDonald and the staff at Jacob Title cater to the realtor and clients who are looking for a top-flight closing experience.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find him online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
And the Lackey Law Firm will take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Hey,
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. Stop into the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Go Mustangs!
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Welcome back to Talkin' Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We're taking nominations for Moron of the Year award.
And we had another one sent in by our good friend Wendy.
256-576-4977 if you want to get in on that. So far, this is who we have. So far, this is who's been nominated.
Our list is getting long.
Yeah, Les Miles.
Yeah.
Urban Liar.
Yep.
Vandy Sports.
Yeah.
Jeff
well, no, that was to remember. That's for next year.
Okay. Jeff from the Borough.
Right.
Kevin Warren, Mark Emmert,
right.
Larry Scott, Dan Woken, the City of Los Angeles, Major League Baseball's Rob Manfred, Ed Orgeron, Dan Mullen, and we have a new one.
Yes, we do, which I didn't realize this until it was just brought to my attention.
Okay.
The University of Michigan for doing to their band what they did in the city of Miami. How stupid is this?
They made the band members all wear masks while being outside.
Outside. Hail to the victors.
Well, they're not playing in the national championship game, so there's no need to have them
I guess they
wear
would have
masks.
had to, so they would have been inside, so they would have had to wear it for the national championship too, I guess.
Probably wouldn't have shown up.
Oh.
Because Notre Dame, here's one for you. This one too. Notre Dame didn't even bring their band to the PlayStation Bowl.
Huh?
Yeah.
Because of COVID?
I'm pretty sure that was the logic.
Oh, good grief. Everybody knows what I think of Notre Dame.
All right, 256-576. If you have a nomination for Moron of the Year, please go ahead and give us a call. Add to the list. We'll figure somebody out that deserves the Moron of the Year award.
Well, we got to give our good friend Brandon who called in earlier. We got to give him credit for it. I mean, he gave us a plaque.
Yeah,
you know,
we actually need to take a picture. This is a real thing, folks. We actually have a plaque
and a trophy
and a trophy
of a horse's ass.
Yep.
No, it's a donkey's ass, right?
It's a donkey's ass. Yeah. We'll take a picture of it and put it out on Twitter and Facebook. And, yes, we actually have room to put said winner on there, like an engravement on there.
But wait a minute. I don't know if we can have back-to-back winners because Dan Woken, I think he was the inaugural winner.
He's the inaugural winner, but we didn't. I mean, we're just going to put Dan Woken's a moron every day.
He is.
So, but we've got to let our listeners pick a good Moron of the Year award. We got to let them pick the good one.
Yeah.
So we got to let our listeners pick a Moron of the Year.
Well, we've had multiple votes for Rob Manfred, who have been 100%.
For pulling the All-Star game out of Atlanta.
Just stupid.
All right. We do got other news, though, that we do need to kind of scroll down through. Auburn got a big-time quarterback. I don't know. I guess you could say a big-time quarterback commitment out of the transfer portal yesterday.
It's just like musical chairs within the conference. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, think about this. LSU starting quarterback is now at Texas A&M.
Right.
LSU starting quarterback is now at Auburn. Texas A&M starting quarterback is now at Auburn, and that'd be Zach Calzada.
Well, and one of the starting quarterbacks for LSU is now back at LSU, and that's Miles Brennan.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Zach Calzada commits to Auburn to be the next quarterback. Hopefully. He's got to probably go through TJ Finley, possibly, to get that starting job. If Zach Calzada wins that starting job as Auburn's starting quarterback, is that any better? Is that an upgrade from Bo Nix?
I don't think so. He doesn't have the athleticism of Nix. Certainly, Bo, had his ups and downs during his Auburn career. He did win the Iron Bowl when he was a freshman. He didn't get a chance to play in it this year. If he could have made a difference in that game because Auburn, lost in, whatever, how many overtimes it was because, you know what? I just nominated, and I guess that's Mark Emmert, though. That's part of Mark Emmert.
Oh, we got to put SEC officiating in there.
Well, I'm just talking about the stupid overtime rules. They don't have anything to do with that.
Mark Emmert's already on the list.
Because
Emmert's on the list.
I hate that rule. I hate the go for two thing. I just think it's stupid. But yeah, you're right. I mean, some of the officiating is just atrocious. I mean, but I will say this just to say, I'm not going to nominate the officials though because it is a very hard job.
Yeah.
I will say this though, I guess you could put it under that umbrella for moron of the year, but I have got to give it for the targeting rule. Okay, I hate that. I hate the way they call it. You and I have talked about this a lot on the show. That stop ejecting people.
Yeah.
There's got to be some kind of, you got to get 2 or 3 targeting fouls before you're ejected. And I just don't like the fact that you're immediately gone and then you have to sit out the half of the next game.
Just make it an unsportsmanlike penalty.
Yeah, or if
they already if you get 2 unsportsmanlike penalties, you're already gone in college football. That's the rule. Make it an unsportsmanlike penalty. And if you get another unsportsmanlike penalty, it doesn't have to be targeting, but if you get another unsportsmanlike penalty, then you're gone.
Right.
And I think it would still work. I don't think you're going to have guys intentionally launching and stuff like that because they're being taught, and I think they've done a good thing to try to clean up some of those hits. They've done it. It's worked. But now it's time to get rid of you're gone as soon as it happens.
Yeah, I agree completely. It's just like back in it's just hard to believe it's nearly a decade, but when they first put targeting in around 2012, and then you're watching the Alabama-Texas A&M game, and this was 2013, and Clinton Dix gets a stupid. He was running side by side with the guy and goes for the interception and they collide, and I guess the helmets hit like that, just barely tap each other on the side, and they call him for targeting, and then they of course review it, and then no targeting, but you're still assessed a 15-yard penalty. How?
Yeah, early on you were still assessed the penalty.
I know, it was the stupidest thing.
Because they called that unsportsmanlike, and then they gave the 15-yard penalty on. Yeah.
Just dumb. They've totally butchered it the whole time. I understand it's a player safety issue, but the way they call it and the way they adhere it, I just don't like it. And so
Mark Emmert's had as you say, his head in the sand.
Oh, we just got another text vote for Mark Emmert, so he has multiple votes.
Yeah. It's close. Rob Manfred in Major League Baseball
and Mark Emmert
right now leading the way for Moron of the Year award from our listeners. So if you got anybody or if you want to cast a vote for either one of those, you can join us on our Facebook. Send us a message on our Facebook live chat, or you can send us on Twitter at 977ESPN, or give us a call, 256-576-4977. If you have any other nominations that stand out, or if you want to cast a vote for Rob Manfred or Mark Emmert, because right now those two seem to be leading the way. Other names: Ed Orgeron, Dan Mullen, the University of Michigan, Les Miles, Kevin Warren, Larry Scott, Dan Woken, City of Los Angeles. Those are the ones there. But right now, Mark Emmert and Rob Manfred leading the way. And you can also argue that Rob Manfred right now is taking away baseball from everyone because baseball's on a lockout.
Yeah, because now we're on a lockout. And what did our good friend Bill Shanks say when he came on here? The morons that run this game.
Yeah.
Manfred
is the ultimate
what he was doing was he was preparing us. He was like, now they're going to get this season done, and they're not going to stop it, but it's coming. A stoppage is coming in Major League Baseball, and that's what we've got right now.
All right, so here's a little numbers for you, and I saw this on Twitter. I cannot take credit for it, although I wish I could. But Ross Dellinger, our good friend Ross Dellinger, had this on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah,
and kind of puts us back into the national championship light. There have been 240 minutes played between Alabama and Georgia since 2017.
Yeah,
the national championship game, 2018 SEC championship game, the 2020 regular season, and the 2021 SEC championship game. That's including this year. Georgia has led, or the game has been tied, for 171 of those minutes, or 71% of the time. Georgia has either led or the game has been tied, but yet the Bulldogs are 0-4 in those matchups.
Yeah, I mean, they've had
171 minutes of 124.
So it's been, back and forth. They've had opportunities. Their most golden was the first in 2017, and then had a nice lead in 18 as well, before Jalen Hurts had his shining moment. But the last two in 2020, Alabama dominated the second half to win, and really in the matchup, in Atlanta, it was the second and third quarters where things dramatically changed, because as we already talked about, Georgia did lead 10-0 in quarter number one and looked like they were in total control.
My wife just texted in.
Is this another nomination?
She goes, I nominate the dumbass that ripped off his jersey and ran off the field. Antonio
Brown. He's always a moron.
She goes, I nominate the dumbass that ripped off his jersey and ran off the field.
Well, and that's turned into an odyssey all its own with all these text messages and I was hurt and all this. Give me a break with all that.
All right, well, we're going to have to tabulate these up. We'll let you know at the end of the show who's going to win the the Moron of the Year award. It's either going to be, right now, Rob Manfred or Mark Emmert. But we have got to do some serious conversation when we return. First guest of the morning is going to join us when we kick off hour number 2, Jason Caldwell on Zach Calzada.
Kerry Rosenblum here with Rosenblum Realty, and we appreciate our MA family. Football season is back again, and we're here for your real estate needs. We've been also doing rental properties for many years. You may have a home that you need to lease out. You don't need the headaches. You need somebody to take care of it, make sure the repairs are done, keep the rent coming in, and screen the tenants. We can do all that for you at Rosenblum Realty, where we do property management services, or you can find a good home to rent as well. Call us at 256-539-9501. Put our years of experience to work for you.
Here's another listing from the 97.7 ESPN The Zone job board. Automation Personnel Services is seeking a hard-working warehouse operator for a well-respected pharmaceutical company in Huntsville, with pay starting at $15 an hour. Learn more at 977ESPN.com. Does your business have positions it needs filled? Contact 97.7 ESPN The Zone today to get your openings announced on the 97.7 ESPN The Zone job board. Just email Joe at abrahamBroadcasting@gmail.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Had that one wreck in Decatur, Highway 20 and Mitchell Road. Single vehicle hit a guardrail there. They just need police help in getting it pulled out of there. Everything else looks really good this morning. You be careful. We're going to have a lot of folks scrambling trying to get in on time. Do you know who to call when you need a heart doctor? You could write this name down right now so you have it. Dr. Randall Burns is at Huntsville Heart Specialist, where they have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A bitterly cold afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures only climbing into the upper 20s and lower 30s. We are going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine. The sunshine's just going to be incredibly deceiving. Dropping into the low and mid 20s as we head into the overnight. Plenty of sunshine for your Saturday. Saturday is actually going to be a pretty fantastic day. Temperatures seasonal for this time of year. Highs hanging out in the low and mid 50s. Dropping into the low 40s as we head into the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
The odds on whoever is the next team to sign Antonio Brown after he was let go by the Bucs Thursday. No one the odds-on favorite, minus 400, the Packers plus 500, and the Seahawks at plus 650. NBA, the Hawks playing on the road tonight against the Lakers. Atlanta a 2.5-point road underdog. They have won 2 out of their last 3 after losing 3 straight. They beat the Kings on the road on Wednesday. The College Football Playoff National Championship Monday night in Indianapolis, Georgia and Alabama. A rematch of the SEC Championship won by Bama as the underdog. They're underdogs again by 2.5 points. The Bulldogs and Crimson Tide played in this game 4 years ago, won memorably by Alabama in overtime.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
It is hour 2 of Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome in. As we mentioned, right towards the end of hour 2, Auburn picked up a quarterback commitment via the transfer portal, and that would be Texas A&M quarterback Zach Calzada to join the mix there. We anticipate Brian Harsin being active in the transfer portal come this month or next month to kind of fill some roster spots. We anticipate, but we don't know. I do know, and we know, Drew, somebody that would know a lot of those answers.
Yeah, I mean, Auburn's going to be busy. I mean, they've had several visitors in town that could be mid-year additions, and Zach Calzada was one of them, and he quickly committed to the Auburn Tigers and is going to be thrust into that quarterback competition, and who better than to catch up doing that? And now, really, the clock has started, I think, on year 23. For our next guest. He's been a long-time fixture covering the Tigers, been a great part of our show. He and his the patriarch Mark Murphy have done a great job with Inside the Auburn Tigers, autigers.com, and now they are part of 24/7 Sports and Auburn Undercover, and that is Jason Caldwell. Jason, I hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Welcome back to Huntsville. You're with Drew and Scott. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, guys. How about y'all?
We're doing well, man, and Auburn really, we knew they were going to attack the portal. They've already started doing so after, the Birmingham Bowl against Houston. A disappointing end, but really just another chapter in a situation where Auburn had chances in their final 5 games to win every one of them, including the Iron Bowl that they controlled for over 59 minutes. But disappointing ending. But now Auburn, going into year 2 under Brian Harsin, continuing to try to retool. We know Bo Nix has gone to Oregon, but now Auburn, I thought Keaton Slovis might be someone they were interested in. He goes to Pitt, but now the Tigers dip into the quarterback derby. And it's really interesting because Scott and I were talking about this in the first hour. It's almost like musical chairs within the SEC West.
Yeah, it's when you think about how the game has changed, how everything's changed with the portal and everything involved, it's not something that you normally saw. And now you look and it's kind of rotating through the league. We've seen it at other positions, but now we're seeing it at quarterback, and it's very different. It's just the way of the world now. It's the way things are. With the portal and with everything involved, it's hard to get used to seeing guys, and of course we've seen it in the high school ranks. Some happen too, but you never thought in years past that when you went and watched a game in College Station, you'd be watching a guy that next year would be on a different sideline and be playing, for the team you cover. But that's the way it is now. So I guess every day's a scouting day, like it used to be in the NFL. I guess now you're going to start having, somebody on your staff that is a scouter around the country during the season just to prepare for moments like this.
Do we anticipate, I mean, how much do you anticipate Brian Harsin being active in the transfer portal? I mean, obviously Zach Calzada, a quarterback, and quarterbacks get a lot of attention, but how active do you think he will be ultimately in the transfer portal?
Obviously, you're looking already quarterback. I think there's no question that they're going to seek out at least a couple of offensive linemen. I would say 2 at a minimum if they can find the right guys that they're looking for. Already had one of those on campus in Osiris Torrance from Louisiana. Mason Brooks from Western Kentucky is supposed to be on campus early next week, who's an offensive tackle. And then Hunter Norzad is a guy from Cornell he's not an early guy, so it'll be in the spring before he's able to. But that's another guy that they'll be targeting. So I think that's a position of need. And then I think once again, for the second year in a row, it's got to be wide receiver too. Kobe Hudson no longer on the team. Demetrius Robertson will be gone. You look at, you get Shedrick Jackson back, which is a big deal because of his experience, and he had a good year. You got Javarius Johnson back, but you still don't have, in my opinion, a number one guy. Can you go find a number one in the portal, a guy that can come in and step in and deliver some of those things? I mean, I think that's a neat area, and probably linebacker as well. See if you can find somebody that can step in there and play with Owen Pepo. So, I think they're going to be very active in the coming weeks. Got about 11 days to the last day of that you can add a class at Auburn. They start classes on Monday, and then you'd have to the next Monday, I believe, somewhere around in there. So it's a short window now to try to get guys in for spring practice.
It really is, and Jason, we're not anticipating any more NFL departures, are we?
I don't think so. There's still some guys that we haven't heard from. From the senior group of guys, Nick Brahms and Austin Troxell and Alec Jackson. I mean, there's still some names of guys that have a year of eligibility remaining that we haven't heard from. That's really the group that kind of we're waiting on. A guy like Nehemiah Pritchett is technically able to go to the NFL. We've seen guys that have done less go to the NFL, but haven't heard any indication that he'd be one of those. I mean, you look up at a guy like Cordell Flott at LSU decided to turn pro, which was shocking to me. So we've seen guys that have similar skill sets that have done that, but I'm not expecting anybody else to go that route. I think we're just waiting on those senior guys.
Well, and then with Zach Calzada's decision to come to Auburn, he and TJ Finley right now battling it out. Certainly, Auburn's also got the freshman signee coming in as well. But it seems if you look at what Brian Harsin's kind of when he brought in Finley and now Calzada, the pure drop back quarterback and the pro style guy seems to be what he's targeting.
Yeah, it looks like that's kind of the fit for him, and even this year. You look at Bo Nix. I mean, he made a lot of improvements as a pocket passer, but they didn't run him nearly as much as in years past. I mean, he had 180-something yards rushing. That's way down from what he had done the last couple of years. So I think this is when you kind of look at this offense, it's more of what the 49ers, those kind of teams are doing. The tight end, running game. Doing some of those things. And so, I don't, you never turn down an athletic guy that can run and make plays, but it has the look and feel of hey, we want a more traditional pocket guy. Now, like I said, you're never going to turn down a guy that can run, but Zach Calzada fits the mold of what I feel like this offense wants out of the quarterback right now.
Wow.
And then with Auburn and what they're doing, going into this next year, football wise, we've seen about 9 or 10 guys. I guess it's up to 10 that have gone into the portal. Not a lot of what I would call difference makers for Auburn this past season. I was though mildly surprised about Kobe Hudson going in.
Yeah, it was a little surprising. I think that one came. Obviously, he put out there that it was, he put it out and then he took it down about, he was basically kicked off the team. And I don't know the circumstances. Only, people on the staff and Kobe know those, and nobody has shared them. I haven't heard anything where, there's been any major trouble with him. Maybe just wasn't seeing eye to eye. I don't know the situation they're involved, but yeah, surprising for me too, because he's a guy that I felt like, had the potential to be a number one guy. He showed glimpses of that this year. Not the consistency that you're looking for, but I think he's a guy that has NFL ability. And so now, can he put it together? I think he'll be a guy that will have an opportunity somewhere to make those changes and obviously go in somewhere next season and be ready to roll. So, a little surprising for me in that regard. But again, we don't have all the information, so we don't know exactly everything that took place. So.
Yeah,
and
that's
Auburn also losing a member of their coaching staff as well over to Clemson.
Yeah, taking Todd Bates' place.
Yeah, Nick Easton, a guy that has moved on. Obviously going back to Clemson, and man, one of the classiest things that I've ever seen. He reached out to us last night. And talked to us about the decisions why. Nathan King wrote a story early this morning about it, and it's really good stuff. You just don't see that happen a ton from assistant coaches, but he wanted to talk about Auburn and what he felt like the direction of the program and some of those things, and I think it's good stuff. So people, you want to kind of get a little bit of an inside look at what happens when a coach moves on, then that would give you that opportunity. So I encourage everybody to check that out, just to read kind of his thoughts on it. It's pretty good stuff.
Really was, and I thought that was very classy of Coach to do that. As he said, the only school he would leave Auburn for was Clemson. A lot of connections over there for him in kind of fulfilling a dream for his family. But Jason, also, we haven't spoken with you since it was official, but it sounds like Austin Davis had a lot to do with Zach Calzada choosing Auburn, and that now the question is he going to be the play caller? Is it going to be Brian Harsin, and how is that going to kind of fit with this Auburn staff? It looks like Austin Davis. We've even heard Caleb Williams mention him, and I know that certainly Auburn would still entertain Caleb Williams. I don't know that that's likely to happen, but again, he seems to be a guy that's highly thought of.
Yeah, and I talked to signee and early enrollee Holden Gardner the other day as well, and he said he's really excited about kind of working with him after having a chance to talk to him. And yeah, you're right. What we don't know is kind of how it's going to work out. He'll be involved. Obviously, he's going to coach the quarterback, but Brian Harsin is going to be involved in the offense. We know that, and I think that a guy like Eric Esau is going to be involved in kind of the offense as well. I think it's going to be a group effort. Who calls the plays and the final say so, I don't know. Normally, the head coach has the final say so anyway, no matter who the play caller is. I would imagine the other guys will have their input and times to do things, but I do think that no matter what happens, that Brian Harsin is going to be involved in what they're doing.
No question about it. And then with as you said, Auburn going to be busy throughout the rest of this process. I know we know February, the second signing period, is coming up as well for high school prospects. Do you get a sense and a feel for how many? I know Auburn's still got their irons in the fire for a few guys. How many more signees in that regard do you kind of anticipate Auburn trying to add?
Yeah, I think it's a fluid number because it may depend on what you're able to do in the transfer market, how things go there. I think Auburn has about 32 total spots.
That's right, for this year. Yep.
The 32 total spots, and people kind of got this misnomer a little bit. You can replace up to 7 guys that you lose in the portal, but you can sign more transfers than that. It's just less guys. They just count along your 25, and so for Auburn, it'll just depend on what that market looks like, how deep you want to go in there. I think we'll see more obviously added in the high school rank because to me, I think you need at least a couple of more high school offensive linemen in terms of the developmental side to move those guys along for the next few years. So you look at that. It looks like they're getting close to offering a pass rusher defensive end out of the Bowl school that wrote about last night. Jack Pyburn, who was committed to Minnesota before, really good-looking kid. There'll be those guys that pop up. We've seen in the state of Alabama this year where, there's two defensive backs in the state, one at Oxford and one at Montgomery Catholic, that did not sign in the early period, Miguel Mitchell and Calvin Griffin, that have become like big-time players now. USC, Clemson, people like that offering these guys. And I think we'll see more of those as teams get a chance to look and okay, who had a big senior year? Who's somebody we need to go back and take a look at? I think there'll be some of those guys for Auburn as well.
Mm-hmm. There's no question about it, Jason. I think that'll be something to definitely monitor going forward for Auburn and what they decide to do and what direction. And now, of course, they're going to have to bring in a new defensive line coach. So I know inside the Auburn Tigers and Auburn Undercover will be all over that with as far as that staff change for Brian Harson's group. But I would be remiss in the last few minutes if I didn't change the subject to Auburn basketball. Arguably the best team in the SEC right now. They are really playing well. Wendell Green coming off the bench. This is a very deep team. They did not have Alan Flanagan due to some, I think, COVID protocols in the last game at South Carolina. Certainly did not matter. Auburn very impressive in dissecting the Frank Martin's group. But this is an Auburn team right now. Just Walker Kessler and the shot blocking ability. I know Bruce Pearl has had some unbelievable basketball teams in his time at Auburn, and one that nearly won the national title. But this is as deep a group as I've seen Auburn have.
Yeah, I think it's depth, defense, intensity, all the things they bring to the table. It's a different type of team. The team that went to the Final Four was an offensive team that, they played defense and did some good things, but, those guys, depended on shooting the three and doing some of those things, and they made it work. This team is a team that'll sit back there and let Walker Kessler, defend the basket, and he does a great job of it. It changes the dynamics of what they can do as a team, but I think you look and, they're playing well. It's a loaded league when you look at it. Alabama's playing really well. Got LSU, got Kentucky. Vandy goes on the road, wins at Arkansas. You look up and you go, man, this is a deep and talented league. And so it's going to be a grind. It continues for Auburn tomorrow. Florida's been kind of a thorn in the side for Auburn for about now 20-plus years. We'll see if this team has the stuff to do what it takes at home. But I think if this team keeps playing like they're playing, defense, they're going to be tough to beat anywhere, but especially at home.
Yeah, that's the big thing. And, you look at it, the SEC is going to be a gauntlet. It's going to be tough. But, man, right out of the gate, in not this next one, but in 2 games, they traveled to Tuscaloosa, and we've talked a lot about it. What a matchup that's going to be. Alabama, Auburn, the epicenter of college basketball in the country for one night.
Yeah, I think you look around the country, and Alabama's already shown it with some of the wins they've had this year. I think Auburn can play with anybody in the country. This has a chance to be as big a basketball game between these two as we've seen in a long, long time. And they both take care of business on Saturday. Then you're right. Everybody in the country will be focused on a game in Tuscaloosa that will have pretty big implications.
No question. And my final question for you, Jason, and we appreciate your time this morning on Talkin' Ball, isn't a unique one because you saw both teams up close and personal injured in Hare Stadium. Auburn, of course, nearly beating Alabama, outplaying them for the majority of the game. And then you've also seen it happen to Auburn in 2017 where they soundly thumped the Georgia Bulldogs in the regular season. Couldn't win the rematch in Atlanta for the SEC Championship, and an injury to our own Kerryon Johnson from here in our community, that played a huge part of that, him not being 100% for the rematch. But what are your thoughts on Monday night and Alabama trying to do something that's not been done, at least for a national title, and that's beat a team of the caliber of Georgia 2 times?
Yeah, having been on the field and for both games, I still sit here thinking that Georgia is a more talented team than Alabama right now.
Right.
But also look at the matchup, and I think it's a team that Auburn matched up better with than I think Georgia does at the moment. I don't know that Georgia's secondary is good enough. It's good enough that they can create a bunch of pass rush, and I thought they did a better job of that against Michigan by putting a little bit more speed on the field. Getting some of those big guys off. Will that sacrifice some in the run game? I think that'll have an impact. I do think having Jamari Sawyer back healthy is the biggest deal for Georgia in this game. I thought that was where the issues came against Alabama. He's a really good pass blocker, but he's also a good run blocker, physical guy at left tackle for them. So I think it's a better matchup. I still come down to one thing. When they kick that ball off, does Georgia feel like they can win? And can they beat Alabama? I'm not so certain they feel that. They might believe it on the exterior, but do they believe it down deep? I don't know that they do. Yeah. Well, I still think it's going to be tough for them to pull off the win when it's said and done. So I think Alabama wins a close game. Until Georgia does it, it's hard to believe it, even though I think they're a more talented team.
Well, great stuff from Jason Caldwell, guy, one of the best in the business. Thank you, sir, and let everybody know how to follow your coverage for the Auburn Tigers coming up basketball. And, of course, the coaching search now, Nick Eason gone, D-line, and, of course, recruiting going forward in football as well.
Yeah, you can check us out at autigers.com, part of the 24/7 network, and can also follow me on Twitter at ITATJason.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, guys.
Jason Caldwell with us. And Andrew, he brings up a great point there as far as the national championship game goes. Yes, Georgia believes they can beat Alabama, but they don't feel it.
Yeah.
And all it takes is for Alabama to come out and be physical, keep this one close, maybe take a lead, have something bad, something fluke happen, and out goes Alabama's way, and Georgia mentally is destructive. I mean, they're down because here we go again. It's that same thing. All right. Let's get to Carrie real fast on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Good morning, Carrie.
Hey, good morning. It's Terry.
Terry.
Oh, Terry, okay. Sorry, Chad. Yep.
All right. Got you, man.
What do you got here?
That's all right. I just want to put in my vote for Moron of the Year.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All Georgia fans.
Why do we say that one?
Well, because they've got the best team in the country for the last 6 years, and they just can't beat Alabama. So, and they keep on saying they're going to beat Alabama, but so I just think they're all morons.
Okay.
There we go. Hey, that's what we're doing. That's why we're doing this. It's for you guys to decide. All right.
Appreciate it, Terry. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Let's get a break.
I can't go there with that. I mean, I've poked and talked about Herschel Walker and DVDs and VHS tapes and stuff, and we've been talking about rewinders today on the show.
Please be kind and rewind.
Yeah, but again, all it takes is one win, and so this is going to be a really difficult, hard-fought game coming up on Monday night.
Yep.
So
it will be.
And I know the Georgia fans, they're thinking eventually it's going to be their time. We'll see if it is on Monday.
All right, let's get that final break in before we bring in Brian Pasek and talk some Bama hoops right after the break.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It has been an easy morning so far. No real problems from accidents, no stalls or traffic signal headaches. You be careful. We do have to get through last-minute dash mode, so we're going to have a lot of people scrambling trying to get in on time. The Somnodent from Dr. Sandman is insurance accepted for sleep apnea and for snoring. It's an easy-to-use oral device, no mask, no hose. 350-CARE or RandallSandlin.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeyes, Skywatch, Traffic Center.
Jesus tells us to go the second mile. Well, sometimes it's hard enough to go the first mile. But when the Lord is number one in our lives, we not only go the first mile, but we embrace the second mile. We can talk all we want about Jesus and how important he is to us, but we show it in the second mile. And the second mile, the world is changed. In the second mile, the difference is made. In the second mile, the lost world sees Christ in us. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. And check us out at cpcfamily.org.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is your big game headquarters all fall long. And with our new fall features, every day is game day at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Try our pregame starters, including our homemade onion strings, always fresh hot lips, and our all-new Buffalo Dippin' Chicken appetizer. Our main events include incredible chicken, fish, and shrimp selections, always featuring local Alabama Gulf seafood. And don't forget our Sunday Blitz, 11 to 6. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama A&M University football. Stop into University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com and view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see ya in the Kia. Go Bulldogs!
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Here in the South, we like our traditions, like Alabama football and tailgating on fall Saturdays. And the best way to start your tailgate? Visit Brooks & Collier to see North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers. Big Green Egg, Blaze, and Traeger. Everything you need for that perfect tailgate. Check out our rubs and seasonings. We have a full wall to please any taste palate. Visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for 75 years. Roll Tide.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet & Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet & Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet & Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
It's Alabama and Georgia for the national championship.
I think it's pretty obvious that you're very, very proud of, our team.
Listen to all the coverage and game right here.
Hopefully we play well enough to beat a great Bama team.
On 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me coming up at noon today. Now, back to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back to Talkin' Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Been talking some college football, a lot of college football. Been talking some other stuff along the way.
Moron of the year.
Moron of the year. And right now, if you head to our Twitter page, you can actually vote for two of the finalists, and that is Rob Manford and Mark Emmert. Those two right now, those got the most votes, but we're still taking your nominations because this is too good. But anyway, we need to talk some college basketball because there is a lot of good college basketball that's going to happen between now and the time that we come back on the airwaves on Monday. There's going to be some good college basketball played, especially in the SEC. There's no games on the SEC docket tonight. There's no games on the SEC docket tomorrow night. But on Saturday, this is what you get. You get Kentucky hosting Georgia, Vanderbilt hosting South Carolina minus the students, Texas A&M, Arkansas, and then 15th ranked Alabama traveling to Missouri in a game you'll hear right here on 97.7 ESPN, the Zone tip-off set for 2:30.
Yep, 2:30 against Quanzo Martin. Kobe Brown, remember, and Caleb Brown, the two brothers from Lee High School, are going to be a part of that game for Mizzou. But Alabama trying to get back-to-back road wins. We talked about how precious they are. The Tide coming off, I thought, their best second half of the season, arguably, especially defensively, in what they did to Florida in a place that's really been difficult for them to win historically. Though back during Colin Sexton's 1 year in Tuscaloosa, they got a big win over there, but then dropped a game to Florida. But a huge win for Alabama, and we're going to break some of that down, talk some Crimson Tide basketball, and wish a Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas to our next guest. And, of course, he is the longtime color analyst for the Crimson Tide Sports Network, Brian Pasek, and he's been good enough to join us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Happy New Year, sir. You're with Drew and Scott. How are you, Brian?
Doing great, guys. Happy New Year to y'all as well, and happy basketball season, at least SEC basketball season, to all the fans out there. And I guess it is still football season. If I'm not mistaken, there is one more college football game, I believe, and y'all may want to check this. I believe it's Monday night.
It is.
Something tells me it's in Indianapolis, and something tells me Alabama's in. I'm just going to go out on a limb and just pencil them in that they're playing in this one. And, I mean, jeepers. It's that way almost every year. I mean, I'm sure. But, we talk about how big that game is Monday night. This game on Saturday is really big for Alabama because they go on the road and defensively they look great against Florida. You go and take on a Missouri team who
is struggling
right now, but you don't want to look too far ahead because you got Alabama and Auburn coming up on the horizon right after this one, but you got to take care of this Missouri game on Saturday after playing so well against Florida earlier in the week.
Yeah, first of all, it is great to be 2-0. With the start that Alabama had with two games that, at least according to the analytics, were essentially coin flip games. The Tennessee team coming in a week ago that before that game was leading the SEC in net and KenPom and all the metrics and analytics. So to get that win was big at home, and then to go on the road and beat a team that most projected to be in the NCAA tournament in Florida. Great wins for Alabama. And the way that they did it, to me, it couldn't have drawn it up any better. I mean, this is an Alabama team that when the threes are falling, they're probably going to win more often than not. But they've been up and down on the defensive end. And in both of these games, Alabama has not shot the ball well. But they've gotten it done with defense. And, Drew, I agree. This is Alabama's best defensive second-half performance. I think you go back to the Miami game, two of the best second-half performances of the year. And, by the way, Miami's rolling right now.
They are, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, so that was an even more impressive win now than it was at the time, and it was pretty impressive then, demolishing an ACC team on a neutral floor in the state of Florida. But anyway, to beat 2-0 is a great spot to be in. We've been around it a long time and know that it is tough to get road wins in the SEC, especially this year. There's something a little different, a little better in the air on home courts in the SEC and in college basketball this year. After a year away from having great home court environments all around the country, We've seen it this year. We've seen it in Coleman Coliseum. I thought the atmosphere Wednesday night in Gainesville was a great one. So that makes it more difficult on the visitors, and Alabama will not be able to just roll in to Columbia, Missouri, and not play hard, not play well, get a victory. SEC road wins are always hard, no matter the opponent, no matter the ranking, and Alabama's got to be ready to play, and hopefully can get the 3-0 after Saturday.
Yeah, that's going to be very important because we know the challenge coming up inside Coleman Coliseum coming up on Tuesday, the 11th, with Auburn. You don't want to catch yourself looking ahead, Brian, but we've even talked about it. As big as this football game is, Alabama and Georgia for the national title on Monday night, this is as big a game as I can remember within the state of Alabama for what's at stake. And what I mean by that is arguably right now the two best teams in the SEC. You have to go back to the salad days of even your era of playing with Sonny Smith and Wimp Sanderson, but I'm still not even sure then that it's you could even say that it's the caliber of these two teams, because right now when you look at what Alabama's done early, you talked about beating a quality opponent in Tennessee, beating Florida on the road, and then the kind of basketball Auburn's playing with this completely revamped team with Walker Kessler and Jabari Smith. These are two outstanding teams that I think are on the short list to be high seeds in the NCAA tournament potentially.
Yeah, I agree. And you might have to go back to the mid-'80s.
Mid-'80s, yeah.
When both schools were high level. Alabama was going to Sweet 16s every year, essentially, and Auburn, with Charles Barkley and Persons and some of those guys, they were able to make a run a year or two in the NCAA tournament. So it's been a long, long time since Alabama and Auburn together have been on the national stage and the national spotlight. And I agree. I would have to say right now Auburn's playing probably better than anybody in the SEC, and Alabama's right there with two impressive wins. And the only thing that if I could change about that game Tuesday night is if you could guarantee me that everybody's going to get back to Tuscaloosa in time and be here, I would feel better about the game. I kind of wish the game was on Wednesday night.
I do too.
I know, a ton of people will be coming back from Indianapolis, and if they get back in time, they're going to be tired. But I'm going to ask them, and we'll talk about it on the air and through social media. You're going to have to drink some coffee and be ready to go Tuesday night. That is a huge game, and I think if you had a little time in between it, it would get the well-deserved hype in the state. I think this will be one of those cases where that game is hyped up more nationally than maybe it is locally. And listen, hey, I'm guilty as well. I'm dialed in Monday night to the national championship game, and I hope I hope Tuesday night is a continued celebration of what happens Monday night in Indianapolis. But big game, and as long as you can take care of business on Saturday against Missouri, I mean, I'm not sure it'll be a top 10 matchup, but it's going to be close. Alabama's going to move up in the rankings after an impressive win at Florida. If you can beat Missouri, a team that I think most people expect Alabama to beat, although, I've been around it 4 years playing, 19 as an analyst with the network, and I will just never take for granted an SEC road win and chalk that up as a victory before it happens, because they are just too difficult to come by. But hopefully Alabama can play well and get that victory on Saturday.
Alabama color analyst Brian Pasek joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline this morning. Brian, it takes both sides of the ball to get a win. You have to be great defensively. You have to be great offensively. But which has impressed you more about this Alabama team? Its defensive prowess or its ability to score?
Well, here's why you play a difficult non-conference schedule. Yes, the analytics work in your favor in terms of seeding, as far as quality wins that you try to build a resume for the NCAA tournament. But I think maybe more importantly, where it helps you is it exposes flaws. It shows you what you need to get better in and work on and prepare you for the SEC. Alabama played the hardest non-conference schedule of any high major team in the country, and I think it is paying dividends right now. This team was inconsistent on the defensive end, rebounding the ball, and that was exposed against some really good teams. And the Davidson loss was not one that anyone enjoyed, but it is a loss that this team improved from. They got better from. They got better defensively. And when you lose that game against a team that Alabama, as a top 10 team at the time, felt like they should win in Birmingham going into Christmas, that got the attention of these players. And over the next week and a half, they were really dialed in practice on the defensive end. They got better. And they won the last two games in the SEC because of what they did on the defensive end. And I'm not sure that they would have done that had they not been exposed and maybe a little embarrassed and mad over what happened against Davidson. So that loss, I think, really propelled them to a 2-0 start, hopefully a 3-0 start. But we saw that last year. And it's Nate Oates' philosophy. He wants to really challenge his team to get better. I think it's a big reason why Alabama won the SEC championship last year. Arkansas, if you remember, was rolling late. They were playing really well, but they got off to a slow start in SEC play. And when you compare the side-by-side non-conference strength of schedules, it was night and day. Alabama was ready. They were prepared going into the SEC. Arkansas last year was not. And kind of a similar situation with Arkansas this year. They really struggled out of the gate in SEC play after playing a not very difficult non-conference schedule. So I like that philosophy a lot for many different reasons. But to answer your question, defense been very impressed with how this team has played the last two games. But what we need to see is consistency, and that'll start tomorrow in Columbia.
And tell us a little bit about this Missouri team. I know they've been struggling. We just talked about Kobe Brown from here in our community, who's been a good player for them. But this has been a rough go for Quanzo Martin.
Yeah, and you know what you're going to get from a Quanzo Martin coach team. They're going to play really hard. They're going to defend at a high level. They're going to rebound. They're going to offensive rebound. And they're going to do all the dirty things. And I mean that as a compliment on the defensive end. They're going to make it hard for you. It's not going to be an easy game. He's going to want to make it ugly and physical. And so Alabama's going to have to be ready to execute, play through contact, and understand that Missouri, even though their record may not be what the next opponent has in the ranking of the next opponent in the rivalry game of Auburn on Tuesday night, it's a game that if you're not ready to play because of the style of play, because of the way Quanzo Martin wants his teams to play, it could be a more difficult game than may be anticipated. So Kobe Brown, I think, is one of the best players in the SEC. They're going to defend at a high level. But Alabama is the better team. This is an Alabama team that, at least right now, you would expect to compete for an SEC championship. And if you want to win a regular season title, as Alabama did last year, these are the kind of games that you need to take care of business, and hopefully Alabama can do that tomorrow afternoon.
And then finally, Brian, I wanted to get some thoughts from you. You don't want to look ahead, but this Auburn team is playing at such a high level. It's such a different team because they basically transformed themselves and going into the portal. They did have Jabari Smith signed, and he's one of the best freshmen in the country. A likely one and done in the top 3 pick in the NBA draft. But there's so much more than that. Walker Kessler looks so much more comfortable in their system than he did at North Carolina with his shot blocking. They're getting Allen Flanigan back, though he didn't play against South Carolina. Wendell Green coming off the bench. This will be a huge challenge for Alabama on Tuesday night in Coleman Coliseum.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Right now, Auburn is playing as well as anybody in college basketball. And Jabari Smith is a lottery pick, top 5 pick in the NBA draft. He's a one and done. Walker Kessler is a game changer on the defensive end. K.D. Johnson, the transfer from Georgia, has played really well, shot it well, one of the best perimeter defenders in the SEC. So they're clicking, and they're coming in a rivalry game, playing the best basketball that they've played in years. So it's a great opportunity for Alabama. Two high-level teams, two teams that I think, if they continue on the trajectory they're on, are not just NCAA tournament teams, not just teams that can win games, but potential Final Four teams. So it's going to be high-level basketball on Tuesday night in Coleman Coliseum, and hopefully Alabama will come into that game 3-0 after a win tomorrow against Missouri. But it's going to be a lot of fun on Tuesday night, and hopefully Alabama fans will still have smiles on their faces after what happens Monday night in Indy.
No question. Well, we look forward to the call. Chris Stewart and Brian Pasick Saturday afternoon from Columbia, Missouri. As we said, be 1:30 start here on the network, and then a 2:30 tip-off for the Alabama Crimson Tide against the Missouri Tigers. And then, as we said, Monday night, the University of Alabama playing for their 19th national championship in football. And then the Auburn Tigers come to town Tuesday night in Coleman Coliseum. Going to be a lot of fun, hopefully, to be an Alabama fan over the next few days. Well, Brian, we appreciate it. Thank you for the knowledge, and look forward to your call and safe travels.
All right, guys. Always appreciate y'all having me.
All right, thanks. Brian Pasick with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Let's get that final break in. When we come back, we've got some good news to pass along.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
We are wrapping up in good shape this morning. No wrecks, no stalls, no traffic signal problems to report. Just a few folks scrambling, trying to get in on time this morning. Have you tried numerous weight loss plans and nothing seems to work? Odds are your hormones are the problem. Find out with a free quiz at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
If you need a car, McCurry Motors is ready to put you in a quality vehicle, and in-house financing is available. If you have a job, McCurry Motors will work with you even if you have a bankruptcy, divorce, or bad credit. Visit McCurrySaysYes.com. Every car comes with a warranty, and they report to the credit bureau. With 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens, call 256-230-0232, or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville. Call 256-713-0575.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubby's Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food from delicious starters to 50-style diner food and meat-and-three meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. Drive-in, drive-through, carry-out, or curbside pickup with delivery coming soon through Grub South. Bubby's Diner, home of the Donut Burger.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hello, this is Kerry Rosenblum Realty, and we're part of that MA family. It's great to see football season back in. And, we're at Rosenblum Realty trying to take care of all your real estate needs, whether home buying or selling. We'd like for you to put our 64 years of experience to work for you. We have 4-generation family ownership, and again, take a personal touch to taking care of your real estate needs. Call us at 256-539-9501 or rosenblumrealty.com.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough we can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey Wes, we show up.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back to Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And before we get to the Moron of the Year award winner, we do got a couple housekeeping notes, though, to mention. Former Florence High standout,
yes,
and current Tennessee Volunteer has put D. Beckwith. Has put his name in the transfer portal.
Yeah, he's a guy that perhaps maybe our good friend Chris Willis or even John Summerall could show interest in bringing him in. I think he would be a good fit at both of those programs. He didn't play much at Tennessee. Really liked him in high school. Thought he was a freak athlete. Was a really good two-sport guy when you talk about football and basketball for the Florence Falcons. But I thought he would be an outstanding tight end if developed properly. They never could really find him a home at Tennessee.
Right.
He played tight end a little bit. He played running back. He played a lot of even wide receiver. But D. Beckwith, I think he's still got 4 years eligibility. So he's someone that could go to a place like a Troy or a UNA and make an impact. I think and make one quickly. So going to follow his process closely. And I want to say this too. I'm going to have my nomination, my last one for Moron of the Year.
Well, hold on 1 minute. Before we get back to the Moron of the Year,
one more housekeeping note. We
should have done this 2 days ago.
Okay.
But we did not get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Luther Tiggs from Bob
400
Jones picked
wins.
up his 400th win.
Great point.
Yeah.
Great point, Coach Tiggs. They won a big area game. They started area play this week, Scott, and they won at Austin. And so great win for Bob Jones. Coach Tiggs was coming into the Huntsville City Classic with a chance to get his 400th win. That didn't happen, but he gets it during the regular season. And his teams always seem to be ready to play in January and February when area comes around. I believe they won the area last year for Bob Jones in the regular season. But Coach Tiggs, such a great guy, someone that has influenced so many young people, did a great job, throughout his career. He was head coach at Buckhorn at one time, built that Sparkman program into a great program that Jamie Coggins has continued. He started the James Clemens program, and now winning basketball games at Bob Jones as well. What a career for the former Russellville High standout.
All right, now back to the Moron of the Year award. All right, you've got one last nomination.
Yeah, one last nomination. Shocker. Everybody knows how much I love LaDum James in the NBA. Of course, he's every time he opens his mouth, you just want to just zip it. But anyway, I'm going to have to nominate LaDom James and some of his hot takes for Moron of the Year from the past couple of NBA seasons, because they had the COVID one, which was so crazy, which the Lakers actually won. And then last year, watching them implode was I love that. And hopefully they won't win anything this year either, as they've tried to put together a super team again, but everybody's on the AARP circuit. They're getting too old and fragile, and they haven't been very good.
All right. So on Twitter right now, you can help as well. We've put two names on there, Rob Manfred and Mark Emmert of the NCAA and Major League Baseball. The reason why those two, Manfred pulled the All-Star game out of Atlanta, and then Mark Emmert, just for being Mark Emmert and everything he's done with the NCAA, being always 2 steps behind everything, it seems, and creating chaos with the name, image, and likeness, to the transfer portal, to just being Mark Emmert and everything else. So
you know how the way I always describe Mark Emmert is
asleep at the wheel.
Whoa, Groundhog Day.
All right, so right now Manfred is leading the way with 60% of the votes.
Yeah, I even voted in the poll for Rob Manfred.
So some of the other names: Les Miles, Urban Liar, the Vanderbilt Sports Athletic. So that's for 2022.
Yeah.
Jeff from the Borough, Kevin Warren, Mark Emmert, Larry Scott, Dan Woken, the City of Los Angeles, Ed Orgeron, Dan Mullen, the University of Michigan, for making their band wear masks while outside.
LaDom James.
And LaDom James.
Yeah.
Anybody else you want to put on the list? Anybody else that stands out for Moron of the Year? You got about 30 seconds to put one name on there if you want to.
No, I really don't have any more candidates. We have a great list, and I just want to say, drum roll, please. It's Rob Manfred, Moron of the Year.
So Rob Manfred will get his name on the plaque. I'm sure he'll just come here and accept it with ease. And he gets the horse's ass trophy, or the jackass trophy.
The jackass trophy. We've got to call it the jackass trophy, courtesy of Brandon.
Although, we'll just have to put it in here in his honor. What we're going to do is we're going to get a picture of Manfred and put the jackass trophy there so that
Be kind, please rewind.
Year. By the way, Bend, Oregon has the lone blockbuster video in the world.
Bend, Oregon. That's a trip for your son.
It's about an hour and something, what did I say, east of Portland?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only blockbuster video in the world. I may have to go there to watch these videos.
A lot of covers from Indianapolis. Everybody have a great weekend. Yep. Stay warm, and we appreciate Brian Patson. We appreciate Jason Caldwell.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're